It is the Riot Podcast. Good Tuesday to you, October 18th. Nikki and Isaiah, my friends.
Hello.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for being here, too.
Yeah.
It's a team effort,
We couldn't do it
guys.
without you guys.
We cannot. Thank you,
Even
guys.
though Nikki's taking a day off later this week.
And who's taking 2 days off
I'm
next
taking 2 days
week?
off, yeah.
Isaiah, what about you? I don't have any forms in.
I'll take a day off every now and then.
Okay.
There's some coming up. I'm
Well,
sure.
Isaiah did have his summer of fun.
Yeah.
So it's
I
okay.
did. I still have a lot of days left, though, so I will be taking all of those. For sure.
Well, we couldn't do it without each other, but we are going to be doing it without each other.
I like how, everybody works together closer to the holidays. We're like, okay, well, you take that day off. I'll maybe take the week after.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Christmas, you're like, bye, everybody. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, we all just peace out for the holidays.
That'll be all right.
Well,
So today,
no, go ahead.
you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I didn't have anything to add. So.
Okay, good. All right, so today on the podcast, we talked about how Nikki made a trip to the pumpkin patch this
I
past
did.
weekend.
Yeah,
And apparently for Hudson, it wasn't a very memorable trip.
And for you.
Well, when
You
we say
thought
me,
I wanted an orange pumpkin. Why would I want just a typical
I
orange
don't remember if I was a
pumpkin?
part of that
You
conversation.
You were. We had it here, everybody.
It was at this exact time.
You know, I try
on
to
a different
remember
day, apparently.
how you love Cleveland teams and all your stuff, and it's hard.
Just can't keep up
It
with
is
this whole
true.
pumpkin patch stuff.
She does keep up with all the sports stuff, kind of.
And look at you.
She didn't know the game was postponed last night, but
I
she,
just hadn't learned
That's
yet.
fair.
yeah, she
She
tries.
was waiting for us today.
And
And we couldn't even remember what pumpkin she wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was
it
such
was a
thing.
unique pumpkin.
I didn't even know that was a color of pumpkin that you could get.
Well, find
So
out
you would
what,
think you would have
what
remembered
pumpkin
it.
I
I know,
got
right?
and how they didn't care to learn.
And then we followed that up by talking about some of the weirdest things that our parents do.
No, we didn't talk about the weirdest things our parents do. We talked about the weirdest things my parents
Your
and
parents
listeners'
do.
parents do, but not your guys.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do
You
that to
aren't
my
willing to
mom.
spill the beans.
I was willing to spill, I just couldn't think of anything.
You guys don't have a good enough relationship with your parents where you can rag on them a little bit and they
just-
won't be upset with
I
you.
just don't think my parents just aren't very weird. They didn't have anything truly weird that I could come up with that would have been like a good content thing, you know?
I know that
Not worth the outcome.
Yeah.
we're
We're
going to find out. We're going to revisit this when your brother or your other brother or your parents themselves or somebody from your family says, this is what Isaiah's parents do. There's
all
no
listen.
way nobody does not have
Nobody
anything
texted
that's
me
weird.
either. No
They
one
must not have
texted
been
me like
listening today for
like
some reason.
my younger brother. He listens. He didn't even text me and say like, "Oh, they do this." Like no one really.
I feel
texted
like
me.
we could find stuff, but it might be more in the because you could take this and go too hurtful too quick.
Oh
Of
yeah.
like just the things that your parents do because they're older. And
Yeah.
There's just always tech stuff that there's always conflict
Are you
about
saying
certain
tech
things.
or text?
Tech.
Because a lot of people texted
Tech.
in about how their parents
No,
text.
technology stuff where I
Yeah.
think most of us could get our parents on and have some funny stories on it.
Yeah.
But I just don't want it to turn sad or
Yeah,
mean.
no, not mean, but just weird. That's all I'm asking.
Weird's just another way to say mean.
We'll check back in with this.
Okay.
After you guys have some time to reflect.
I love it. So then we circled
And when your
back.
parents are out of town.
Yeah, when they're not listening, when they're busy. I always circled at the very end of the show to talk about a new addition to Arby's menu, right?
Uh-huh. Did you see that?
I saw it.
What do you think?
Meh.
Yeah.
I like Arby's, but that's not really my jazz.
Nah.
I'm more of a chicken tender kind of guy.
Oh, okay. You know they have chicken there.
Yeah, I get the chicken tenders. Yeah, they're
that's
really
what you
good.
get at Arby's.
Like when I go to
so
Arby's,
if they come out with a chicken tender bourbon, then that'll
then
be
I
your
would be
jam.
that would be a little bit more my alley. I
a honey
think.
must. No, it'd be a barbecue sauce chicken tender.
That would be good.
Bourbon.
would be for Isaiah. Okay.
But yeah, Arby's solid for me. I like Arby's. I'm an Arby's fan. I would put it above a lot of other fast food
Now,
restaurants.
wait, what about this though? What about the mozzarella sticks?
Oh, that's the best.
See, everybody always talks
That's
about
the best.
those.
And the jalapeno
Oh,
poppers.
don't you dare!
I
Are you
don't.
about-
I don't think they're bad.
You excuse yourself if
But
you're going to say anything.
I don't get them because they're just expensive for how few you get.
They're
No,
worth
you get the
it,
large
though.
thing.
They're
and
not
you change
worth
out the
it.
stuff.
They're worth it.
They're not worth it.
They
It's
are.
it's
This is what you
expensive as
do.
is. I could get chicken tenders at Arby's, and if I just get the small chicken tender meal, it's gonna be like $9.
But you
instead
wouldn't
of the
be as happy.
fries, You get the
Exactly.
And then
That's
if
right.
I
You
add in the mozzarella
substitute.
sticks, then that's going to be an extra $2 charge. And then I'm like at an $11 meal for a $4 value.
No.
No, you're all wrong.
No, you can
Those
live on that
mozzarella
stuff.
sticks, Arby's don't listen. Those mozzarella sticks are worth $45.
Don't charge
each.
us that.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Oh, they're
Yes.
gold.
I think they're
are.
really good, but I can't justify spending so much money at a fast food
Do you know who
restaurant.
takes me to Arby's the most?
Who? Who?
My mom.
That makes sense.
And do you know why I didn't say anything bad about my mom?
Because
If my mom
I want to go to Arby's.
Yeah, if my mom took me to Arby's, I would get mozzarella sticks too. But because it's me going there, I can't even justify going to Arby's regularly because, yet again, it's an expensive fast food restaurant for what you actually are getting.
Dang, that is that. I mean, I don't go often because you're right, it is expensive, but you can't say that it's not worth every penny.
It's
every
good.
time you go.
I wouldn't know. I don't know if I'd say it's worth every penny, but it's
every
good.
penny.
Worth
The problem
good.
is we don't have enough pennies.
I don't have all those pennies to rub together.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. Text us and say hi at 877-2-RADIO-U. Let us know what you got going on today or anything that you think about during the podcast. Please send that to us.
All righty. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
See you guys.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
In my car.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person that uses my car. And so this is an issue that I face where I'm leaving empty Coke Zero bottles in my car. However, my wife and friends of mine that are Coke Zero drinkers will just leave. My wife is a chain Coke Zero drinker. So those bottles got to go somewhere.
Sure. They're empty or are they full?
Yeah, empty bottles.
Empty bottles.
At least mostly empty. And so a lot of times they stick around in the car. And in the wintertime or just anytime when the air starts to cool down, what does air do when it's colder?
It sucks the bottles
It contracts, right? It's science. So the bottles, kind of shrivel up a little bit.
Sure.
Probably not noticeably. I don't even know if you looked at it, if you would notice. But then once you get in the car and turn the heat on,
they expand.
Then they expand. And so then what you hear, if you've never had this happen before, is the bottles popping back into shape, like the little crevices in the bottle.
How many are in your car?
Oh, there's at least a handful, probably closer to a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, possibly 5 score. I don't know. It's a lot of bottles.
Enough to where you're hearing them pop
You're
back.
hearing them pop every single time you turn the heat on after, I'd say it takes about 10 minutes. And then depending on how cold it is, and the bottles will heat up, and then you hear, boop, and you keep hearing it sounds like either a child is throwing rocks at my car, or my car is just losing pieces as I go down the road, or it's these bottles popping.
Okay, it doesn't sound like gunfire or anything like that scary.
Not exactly.
Okay.
No, but I don't know. I guess the alternative is maybe children are throwing rocks at my car. I wouldn't put it past them.
Your car is falling apart.
Or my car is falling apart, and one day I'm going to ride in here like a Looney Tune, just floating, holding a steering wheel.
Well, could we put like a car trash can, or at this point it sounds like a recycling?
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what I need is a recycling
center. That way they'll be nestled in like a little can. Maybe they'll stay warm enough.
If they're all, they would insulate each other. Perhaps that's an idea. That is an idea. Or I or whoever is, the Coke Zero drinker could clean out the car.
That's nice too. Now I didn't want to go that far because if they don't want to, they don't want to.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not my Coke Zero bottles. Why would I clean them out?
Just like a couple of minutes in the evening, you're like, all right, let's. And if you park near your recycling or trash, just throw it all in there.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
When I leave work today, gonna drive over to our dumpster.
To the dumpster?
It's gonna have so many Coke Zero bottles in it.
That's fine.
So many.
Hey, the raccoons will love you.
Yeah, they sure will. Now they're gonna hear those pops in the middle of the night when the sun comes out every day.
Oh, I guess I didn't think that would be a problem, but you're right. They would. They'd make noise like that.
It's a cautionary tale. Don't leave Coke Zero bottles in your car. Good reason to keep your car clean.
That's a good reason.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
You've been feeling a little different lately?
Our sinus infection we had.
Yeah,
but I feel like we're on our way out of that.
Yeah, we've got that done. But I don't know. Are you feeling a little different since like Sunday of last week?
Sunday of last week?
Yeah, well, that's about when you got sick too.
Yeah, around that time. You gotta.
But what if?
We have to pick something else besides the sickness time.
Yeah, but what if though? Because there's an importance to that date. But what if the sickness could be tied into
to you
space radiation?
It's not. It's actually tied into Isaiah.
It's Isaiah's fault. But what if we're all sick? And what if it's actually not a sickness at all? What if it's the effects of high energy radiation from outer space?
I would think someone would have said something by now.
I'm saying something now.
This is it?
Yeah.
Are you a whistleblower?
NASA, their Swift and Fermi missions detected an exceptional cosmic blast.
What is any of that?
Yeah, well, those are, I think those are like telescopes, space telescopes that are out in space.
So gamma rays are a real thing, or?
Yeah, that's what turned Bruce Banner into the Hulk.
Well, that's why I assumed it's not a real thing.
No, it's real. So that's what I'm wondering. Are we feeling a little different? Because there was high levels starting Sunday morning of last week. We were experiencing here on Earth high levels of gamma rays passing through the solar system and X-rays as well. Does that mean like aliens are taking a look at our insides?
Must be.
Yeah. What are they finding?
Well, hopefully nothing. But if they find something, will they let everybody know?
Yeah. If we've got like a growth.
Because that'll save you a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, that would be very helpful. And if we're all going to turn in. The thing is, though, this is high levels of gamma radiation that's going to turn us into the Hulk. Will it be like the same if we're all the Hulk?
Or it'll just even out. We're just all normal.
Yeah, we would all be normal. It's not like, oh, you have superpowers, because they wouldn't be superpowers compared to everybody else.
Yeah,
on Earth.
these are all important questions, I feel like.
And I think, but here's the thing, though. What's up with the Hulk, right? How does he get his powers? He gets angry.
Yeah.
So that means the people that don't get angry, like myself, would be at a disadvantage.
We'll never.
We'd be
turn
walking
into
through
that.
life, just walking like a normal human. Meanwhile, there'd be these people with a hot temper, and they'd be breaking stuff up all the time.
They'd be like, oh, there they go again.
They're already causing enough issues. All of a sudden, they're going to be causing even more if these gamma rays are going to have an effect. So I don't know. I thought it should be brought to our attention,
That's the
especially
problem.
since we have been having like head stuff. I don't know how quickly the radiation takes effect.
Well, they call it a gamma ray burst. And they say that's the most powerful class of explosions in the universe.
Whoa.
And they had the event on that Sunday, the 9th, that morning, and it passed through the solar system.
It looks like, what do they call it? Gamma ray burst 221009A. And it's provided an unexpectedly starting start to the 10th Fermi Symposium. I
Wow,
love symposia.
You know, whenever we read space articles, I'm just like, don't know any of that.
You're just going to turn a blind eye and
until
let the radiation take its course?
You know what? Don't come to me until the next burst is here, all right?
Maybe it just like cleaned us out.
Maybe
like we're slowly healing because of this. I don't know. But hopefully no ill effects are taking place because of this, because I don't know. It seems concerning. But thanks for letting us know, NASA, a week after the fact.
A little late.
Yeah.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Isaiah, let me ask you something. One, did you know that Nikki went to the pumpkin patch this weekend?
I remember something about that, but not so much was that on the top of my mind over the weekend.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram when I was posting on Instagram, on the RadioU Instagram when I was doing the marathon, and then Nikki, we like saw each other yesterday. I didn't think to ask about it, and she didn't bring it up, so I didn't think to ask until today. And now let me ask you another thing. Do you remember what color of pumpkin Nikki wanted?
Here it is.
Yes.
What is it?
She wanted an orange pumpkin, like everybody else would. Why would you want a white one? Why would you want a white one?
I didn't want a white one either.
What color did you want?
He wanted a white one.
I
wanted
a white one. Yeah, because
Hudson
it's a
wanted
ghost.
a white one because it looks like a
It
ghost.
looks like a ghost.
I
That's so lame.
wanted a gray pumpkin.
They even make those?
Yes, they do.
I've never seen a gray pumpkin.
Okay,
A
thank you.
gray pumpkin?
Thank
Like
you.
a plastic one or something?
No, they have real ones. I saw them at the store the other day.
Really? So neither of you guys want like a real pumpkin is
Well,
what
What do you
I'm
mean
getting
they're
from this.
real?
I ended up getting an orange, a white, and a gray pumpkin, for the whole
And you
trifecta.
got okay, yeah, you got one of each.
Yeah, but it was a little upsetting because, you were like, I think you said something about pumpkins. He didn't even care enough to remember what color I wanted.
But apparently neither did Isaiah.
I know,
I feel like he
know.
just
Listen,
gave me
you
cover
can't
here.
expect me to know that there even are gray pumpkins. That's like a completely obscure color. Of all the things, when you said you didn't want orange, I assumed white. If I could have guessed again, I would have said like blue or something. I don't know where I would have went. I wouldn't have went gray.
Dang. Well, okay, now I do feel bad, but I don't feel as bad for forgetting that Nikki wanted a gray pumpkin because you
No,
also
it was more
forgot.
because it was also sad because we had a whole conversation about it.
I know.
guys.
I'm sure that we
A whole
did.
conversation
I don't
about it.
remember
a lot
this.
of conversations about a lot of things.
It was
though.
it was one of our podcasts last week because we do a podcast each day, and it was into one of our podcasts, and that's when we talked about it.
Anything we say on the show, I think you should just we should be able to write it off.
Anything I care about? Is that it? Is that it? 'Cause
Whenever
I remember
Nikki's
you
telling a
wanted
story.
a white one. You wanted a white
I
one.
knew that Hudson wanted a white one. I
that was
assumed.
me.
I assumed
I
you
guess-
also wanted white.
Apparently, I'm just more important than Nikki in your mind.
No,
This is
I don't
what
think that.
Yeah, your mind. It has a hierarchy of information that it deems necessary, and so it didn't deem the gray pumpkin
See,
that
what-
Nikki wants necessary enough to keep that.
I
keep
don't
that
remember
information.
talking about a gray pumpkin. I don't think I was a part of that.
Remember
Maybe-
I talked about that's my aesthetic because I just have so much gray in my life, and I wanted a gray pumpkin.
We talked about this
remember
during the
that at
podcast.
all.
You're
Yeah,
saying
I
we
didn't
didn't have this conversation, I swear.
What if you had this conversation with somebody else and
It
we're
wasn't
not
us.
the bad
It
ones?
wasn't
Maybe
us.
it's
You know
you.
what? You two, that's the worst when someone does that to you to try to put it off like
Yes.
it's their fault.
It was
Yeah,
nice.
It's not because you said that you wanted a white one because if you did a jack-o'-lantern, it would look like a ghost. That you wanted
Well,
a white
I've said
pumpkin.
that multiple times, though.
Oh my gosh!
I've said that
I'm gonna have
several
to
times 'cause it's
listen
very
back.
important to me.
I'm gonna have to listen back.
I
I'm not
even
sure.
had
You can't give us the day of when it was.
It had to be like
so.
Friday or something, you know, right? Thursday,
I think
Wednesday.
it was. I even
I'll
had
listen to all of
listeners
them.
message me about yes, they found gray
Where to
pumpkins
get
as
gray
well.
pumpkins.
Really?
Hmm.
Because I'm
And
looking at gray pumpkins now, and
They
I've never
care
seen
about
one of
me
these.
more than you.
Apparently, I do feel bad, but I'm glad that Isaiah also. And I'm not glad because it makes Nikki feel even worse, but it also makes me feel better. So
Just makes me feel like next time we have sharing time, I just need to be like pass.
yeah,
Because
Just
well, you
pass.
guys won't remember anyways, so
Yeah.
I'll just not share my thoughts.
No,
Yeah.
but I did find gray pumpkins, and I found a white one, and it was lots of fun.
but you're not
that's
going to carve
wild.
them or anything.
What'd you say?
You're not going to carve them or anything.
No, I normally don't.
Can I tell you something I saw at the grocery store the other day? It makes me mad. It was pumpkins, but they had like stickers or like little somebody else had already painted on them, and so they'd say like trick or treat, or they'd be decorated like painted like a little cat. You can't do it yourself.
Oh,
It's
you
too
can buy
hard.
it pre-done?
Yeah.
Dang, I need one of those.
I was going to
Are
say,
you
that
kidding
sounds
me?
great.
I
You
would definitely
guys,
take one.
It doesn't take that long.
Because it's all about like it looking good in front of your house. Nobody needs to know that you didn't do it. They just
Correct.
assume you did it.
You guys suck.
Listen, you don't have to do it. Some people don't have time. I don't have the time to do it.
Why
you
don't
know?
you get a Christmas tree and have it already decorated and lit and have somebody else put it up for you and then you just watch it?
Do you
Also
think
seems
someone
like
would
a
take it down
wise
too? Because I would
choice.
love it if they would
Yes.
take it down.
You guys are the worst.
Oh, yeah, we are?
You hate
We are?
Halloween.
I don't hate
You
Halloween.
it.
I just want my house to look good for Halloween, and
Why
I
don't
know
you
that
have-
I can't do it.
Why don't you have somebody else dress up in a costume for you and go out and get all the candy and then eat it for you?
You mean be in two places at once? I'd also like to do that.
You know, it sounds like we're hearing management material with
Yeah.
all these delegating things, so
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I think you guys just hate the holidays. Is
Well,
what I'm
you
hearing.
hate us.
That's all I'm hearing.
Okay.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
I want people to text in on this because I know everybody's got an answer for this one. What is the weirdest thing your parents do?
Your parents do?
Yeah. You ever caught your parents doing something, either caught them like unsuspectingly or that you just know they routinely do it? You observe them routinely doing just weird stuff.
Oh wow! I feel like I need to hear examples to probably
Okay.
then go like, yeah, your parents do that.
All right. Here's one I'll lead off with. I don't think this is the absolute weirdest, but this is a pretty good one. You ever, anybody else's parents, they'll be driving, going somewhere, oftentimes somewhere that they have gone before,
Yeah.
like 30 minutes from their house. They fire up the GPS. The GPS tells them to go one way. And they start yelling at the GPS, like,
to talk to
you know,
it?
like Google Maps or Waze, whatever, you know. And they're like, "Why would I go that way at this time of day, Google? You don't know what you're talking about." You ever have them do that?
Maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know because normally.
I mean, if all parents do that, I guess it's not weird. But I think,
and I think if
it's
I
pretty
would have
weird.
noticed it, you're usually in the car and you're the one doing the directions.
You're
so-
navigating.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
navigating.
I know better than to do that.
Aw,
Then
Hudson's
they'd
mom,
be
you do
yelling at
that.
me.
They yell at you.
You got a good one, Isaiah? I know your parents might be listening.
If I don't really think I have any good ones. My parents really don't do anything that's weird.
Come
Do you feel like it's too close to the holiday season to say anything?
I know, I want gifts, all right? I need some presents. No, I can't think of anything that my parents do that are weird. All my parents do is work. They just go to work every day, and they work all day long.
Well,
so
that's pretty
the weirdest
weird
thing
in
they do.
2022.
Yeah, they work all day in person and everything. I know, they're crazy. I don't even know they go in there.
Oh, come on.
I think it might just be
I don't know. My parents don't really do anything weird.
Do you think your parents are the prototype of normal people?
Yes.
The stereotypical parents.
Now,
My parents are very normal. I would say they're very, very normal.
Here's something from Justin.
Okay.
Justin said, my parents still use a landline phone, and they never lock their doors when they leave the house.
Whoa.
That's 2 of them. That works.
Now that's old school too.
Yeah.
Using
That's
the
how you do
landline
it.
Phone. Sometimes you ever walk into the Walmart and you're walking in like the like the electronics section, and you see they still have
See
like
the phones?
2 landlines, and you're like, honestly, who's buying this?
No, every time at Costco, they'll sell them still like a pack of like 6 or 8. And you're like, who would even need phones like that?
Yeah.
Who would need that many phones in their house?
In what universe?
I don't know.
Does anybody in 2022 still need a landline phone?
Well,
besides
Matt
Justin
says
parents?
his mom has to have the last word in text, always, no matter what. I like that, Matt.
Yeah. Still, I can't believe you guys don't have any.
My mom will probably be listening. I'm not throwing her under the bus right
It doesn't
now.
have to be
No
anything
way.
embarrassing.
Nope.
My parents probably wouldn't be embarrassed with the GPS. They'd be like, yeah, Waze is wrong. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Nope. Not
I
gonna
don't
do
know.
it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that's like super weird that my parents do. My
Our
family's
parents are
pretty
perfect.
normal. Yeah, they're pretty normal.
You guys need like 5 minutes to think about it.
No, I'm not even going to
I don't think I'll be able to come up with anything. I can't think of anything my parents do that I think is that weird.
You guys are grown adults.
Well, okay.
You can say they're not going to spank you.
There's
Isaiah.
no like.
They're not going to spank
I'm
you.
not
You say whatever
afraid
you
of my
want.
parents. I'll say anything I want about my parents. I talk about anything on the radio that I want to talk about. I can't think of anything my parents
Which
do that are
sounds
weird.
like you can't talk about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I think you're covering something up.
I'm not covering anything up. If I had something to share, trust me, it'd be more entertaining than what I'm doing right now.
You know what? Here's what I want. Todd, what's your mom's name?
Connie.
Connie, text in. Tell us something weird you do, because we know.
No, why don't you text us something Isaiah does? That's
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more instances of that. That's a lot
Maybe
easier.
They'll be more comfortable that way.
8772 Radio U. If Todd or Connie or anybody wants to text in something weird their parents do. And
Mom,
we'll
don't
be
feel
happy
like
to
you need to. You just don't listen, okay? No problem.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
We are talking about weird things your parents do. Apparently, Nikki and Isaiah both. I mean, Nikki sounds like she's afraid of her parents. Isaiah is lying and saying his parents don't do anything weird.
Well, I think that you guys have enough that we don't need to turn our parents in for anything weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
they're listening. Let's see. Micah says, my mom texts me not when I'm late, but when it's exactly the right time to be there to make sure that I'm still coming.
Well,
that feels so mom.
Okay, you should have been there on time. What
You
can I tell
should
you?
have.
What can I tell you? Your mom's very punctual.
Davey, thanks for texting. Says, my dad dunks his Chips Ahoy in orange juice.
That's awful.
That's bad.
I don't know. I
super
can
weird.
see it.
I
can
don't see that at
because like those chocolate oranges. What is that? What kind of brand is that makes the chocolate
Oh,
oranges?
the ones that kind of pop open?
Yeah, you have to smash them on the table. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, those are
so.
okay, but I'd rather have a cookie though.
That's also a much different experience than orange juice.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
orange is much different.
Let's see, Scott, you're going weird here. My parents have horse head masks and take couple pictures wearing them on almost every vacation they take.
That's
I mean,
really
how
weird.
can any of us compete
But
with
that
that?
must be like their fun thing, and they must
But
get a
it's
kick
still
out
weird,
of that.
though.
It's a
I
weird
know.
fun
Still
thing. Like,
weird.
if that's your thing, that's a weird thing to be your thing.
Let's see. Oh, this one's nice, though. Mike says, sometimes my mom, does she think she still needs to get groceries for her kids? Dude, my mom will get me groceries. There's nothing better when that happens.
Wait.
Says, I got into motorcycles so I could go visit without taking home a carload
Dang.
of food and stuff.
Dang,
Oh,
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a blessing, doesn't it?
You
Doesn't
need
it?
that.
Yeah, you could think about how much money you could save on groceries.
Why don't you
milking
introduce
your mom dry?
You introduce us to your mom. We'll go get
Yeah,
them.
that's right. We'll take them. I've thought of another one for my parents. My dad, if you ever go to any store with him, he will stop about 80 times. And he does this particularly to my mom. He'll go, Kim. And he'll just point to something and he'll like put his hands like he's Vanna White or something showing a Wheel of Fortune letter.
Yeah.
And he'll just like, Kim, and then point to something that he thinks she should look at. And like read every sign. So we started making fun of him of like like.
Does he do that to bother her, or just because he likes to do it?
Maybe a little bit.
I think it's for sure to bother. I think that's hilarious.
Think a little bit?
I used to do that all the time. I would just grab something random and I'd be like, "Mom," and I'd just hold it up.
Check this out. He also.
I used to do that with all the time.
We started making fun of him. We went to like it was a basketball game, and they just have the little queue line where you could go get your food, and it has the enter here sign, and so because he reads every sign and like turns it into a question, so we'd be like, "Hey, Dad, would you like to enter here?" And so we say that to him all the time. Yeah,
I think that's cute.
That's one of his weird things. So I don't know. There's no competing with Scott though. Can anybody top couples horsehead masks?
Few of you guys have some troubling parents, so that's fine.
Well, they're just they're a little wacky. They're a little goofy, but as you age, you're allowed to be that way, right?
Yeah, but again, Mom, you're welcome for not saying anything.
Remember this.
Isaiah's parents,
you better get Nikki
welcome.
some groceries
Remember
next time she
these
comes
moments.
to visit.
I know, it's so cute. Anytime I go over, there's always a little bag of random things that they're giving to you that they don't want. And you're like, you guys don't want this? We'll eat it.
Well, make sure you never get into motorcycles, Nikki.
That's
then you
right.
won't be able to take it home.
Yep, you got to have a space to bring it with you.
The Riot Radio U.
Now, Nikki, of course, you're familiar with BTS.
Sure.
Who's your favorite Bangtan boy?
I don't actually. Well, no, actually, you should never say anything.
Because it's wrong.
No, like
they'll send the BTS army will come after you.
The fan base is so strong that it's just best not to say anything.
So you don't have. Well, we're gonna say some stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna say this, and then we're gonna post it everywhere.
No.
It's gonna be great for the metrics. It's gonna really drive up the numbers.
You don't want that.
Well, no, we do. Let's try to be as controversial as you can for this segment. Can
I'll
you?
just be like, I have no opinion.
We have here news about BTS that unfortunately for their fans and for the world in general, BTS is going to be taking a hiatus. They're basically being forced to take a hiatus until 2025.
Well,
it's a long time.
No, I mean, this has been going on for like years.
What do you mean?
In South Korea, you're required for men to do a mandatory 2-year military.
Yeah.
But they say that for K-pop idols, that they should be exempt because basically they're almost working for the country, like tourism at that point.
That's actually an argument that's being made that it's going to cost South Korea millions of dollars.
Oh, they say even trillions.
Trillions.
And it's not just musicians, but they also say, like, if you're an athlete in that area, that you should be exempt from mandatory military because it'll take you out of what your career was. But then also, it's a lot for tourism again and for money that the country receives.
Like the exact same argument I would use if the United States had mandatory military service. I'd be like, I'm already serving the country by being a big star.
You can't possibly
attracting
do anymore.
visitors from across the globe that come to see and hear what Hudson has to say on the riot. I'm serving the United States. I don't think I should be forced to go into military duty, besides the fact that I would be very ineffective if I was forced into that. So, but it seems
this is like their final ruling on it.
Yeah.
Because the government has gone back and forth on would they allow them and other high profile people to be exempt from military service.
And it looks like the answer seems to be no.
No. So
that's what I'm getting.
They are going to go do that.
So starting at the end of this month, Jin, is that how you say it?
Not saying anything.
I don't speak South Korean. Jin is the oldest member of the group. Can you believe he's 29?
Mm-hmm.
Nikki.
What?
Say something.
I'm not saying anything. I told you. If you make anything or anyone mad about that.
I don't know which one is which in the band. I also didn't know there was 7 people in it. But none of them look 29 except maybe that one guy.
Well,
and I don't know which one is which, so I don't know.
They're older than you think they are.
Yeah.
And again, in some areas where it's required to be a part of a mandatory military, you have until a certain age. So they're all around that age.
Is that typical in South Korea, 29? That feels old to have to start, but is that how long you can put it off?
No,
but most people probably get it out of the way sooner.
Extend it. So I think, they've extended it for a certain point, and some just do it when they're really early, like younger.
How are we going to survive, though, for the next 2+ years?
Well, you know how?
How?
We have you.
We have me.
So BTS fans, you have Hudson.
He's not
leaving.
You know what? I could fill in. I could fill in because they're not all serving exactly at the same time, right?
You can fill in.
So I can step into Jin's shoes at first, and then when he's done, I'll take over for the next guy,
I think
whatever
they'll
the
be
other
okay
names
with the break,
are.
you know? Maybe they'll just take that break.
You know what? We can't live without the Bang Tan boys for 2.5 years.
You have to take 18 to 21 months in the military.
Dang. What would you rather do, serve in the military or be a part of BTS? You're not going to answer that.
Well, I will say it's probably a lot more similar than you think it is.
Yeah, that's true. They probably have a very regimented life, very set schedule. But then again, it's BTS.
And you get that money, so
yeah, that's right. All right. Well, we'll be happy to fill in until 2025. We can fill the BTS void. We just, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think you can fill in if you don't know that.
Yeah.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Something funny to think about that could just be something in my own mind, but I don't think it is. I say follow Radio U on TikTok all the time, right?
Yeah.
Radio U official.
Sure.
And how often do people do that? Like
all the time. Anytime you say it, it's someone's right over there.
I don't think so. I think
is it in one ear out the other?
Yeah, but if we were to talk about, like I was just telling Nikki and Isaiah about a TikTok channel that I see that apparently they've never had come up on their For You page. And if I said that right now, I bet you they'd get like probably 5 followers because I recommended it.
Sure.
But they don't follow people that wouldn't
It's
follow
your
us on Radio
own.
U official or wouldn't follow me, but they're like, but Hudson recommended this. And so I'll go see it.
Well, how about this? We're recommending a new TikTok channel. If you go to Radio U Official, we think you're going to really like it.
You probably will really like it. Enjoy. Check this out, Nikki. I've got a new item from Arby's.
Man, I love Arby's.
Yeah,
it's
good,
too expensive.
right?
Like I don't go there often because I feel like I don't order right. Like I have to plan better to get the price down low.
Yeah,
But
that's right. I was going to say, you definitely want a
like
coupon. If you ever get those mailers that come, the coupon clippers.
Yeah.
Those always have Arby's in them, and those actually will save you a few buckaroos at Arby's. But yeah, you got to plan ahead. You need some coupons. You need to go during happy hour because it is expensive. Although with inflation, I think maybe this is just my own perception, but I think other places are catching up in price to Arby's.
Yeah, but I think Arby's also still went up.
I don't think it went up as much. Like I think we have right by the studio, we have an Arby's and a Wendy's right beside each other. I think their prices are. I think Wendy's is catching up.
Ooh.
I think you could almost eat at Arby's for just as cheap as Wendy's now.
And just a quick question. I've always meant to ask this. We never go in anymore, but I remember when I was a kid, the one Arby's over there.
Yeah.
And then I think the Arby's over there, they always had trees inside.
That's what I was gonna say.
Does every Arby's have a tree?
I went to that Arby's and it looked like. I felt like I was stepping into 1994.
Oh, it's old.
And I loved it. I was like, this is where I want to live.
So does anybody else have an Arby's that they go into and does it have a tree?
And the funny thing was,
like a real
I was
one?
like, there's no way this tree is real. It's not maintained. Like they couldn't have been maintaining this tree for the last 30 years.
Yeah, it's growing in the middle of the back area.
Yeah, and I could tell because there was dead leaves all over the ground. And I was like, oh, nobody has been maintaining this tree, and it's still thriving somehow.
It's still alive.
Okay, back to the matter at hand. Arby's new item. It is Arby's smoked bourbon. That's it.
Oh, they're just making a bourbon?
It's just a smoked bourbon.
I thought you were going to say sandwich.
Exactly. But no, it is inspired by their smokehouse sandwiches. Their 13-hour smoked brisket sandwich. Doesn't that sound good? In their limited edition real country style rib sandwich. Oh, but now you could get those flavors captured in a smoked bourbon. Yeah, you know what? All the other Arby's stuff is so good. Maybe you shouldn't knock it till you try it.
That's never going to be as
Although
good as
it's probably
the
too
meat
expensive,
sandwich.
right? It's probably like you see that on the shelf next to all the other bourbons, and you're like, "Why? What is this one made with gold? Why is it so much more?"
They say it is smoked. Where it's coming from where a lot of Arby's. Oh my gosh, the wording. Finest meats are smoked. The oak is placed in the bourbon. The bourbon is then finished by placing smoked wood inside, heated and cooled to replicate the temperature of the seasons. It feels so bad.
That's
And they say it's a bold flavor that all Arby's fans know and expect from their stuff there.
Did you see? It really, truly is too expensive. You could get it starting tomorrow at noon Eastern at Arby'sSmokedBourbon.com.
Mm-hmm.
$60.
$60?
$60. And I don't think this is like a lifetime supply of bourbon. I think I mean, you don't want to go crazy with it, but it's probably not going to last you very long.
Arby's, we can only afford at this moment a bourbon sparkling water or something that's a little bit less.
I think a bourbon sandwich doesn't sound so bad.
No, we're not even affording that.
You can't afford it?
Not even that.
I'm going to make room in my budget for a bourbon smoked sandwich.
What was the thing we had a few months ago? The fish.
The hush puppy fish.
That
was good.
I only had them one time, and then they went away.
This segment brought to you by Arby's.
No, it's not. We're just appreciating. Actually, if you want to know the real truth, I think we're both super hungry. And anything
hungry
sounds
for
good.
Arby's.
Thank you, Hudson.
Yeah.
No, anything will do. Actually.
Wow, great timing. Where did they get this bourbon? From the bottom of the barrel?
Yeah, from the trees that are in the place.
You're gonna make that sure that barrel's dry after you drink all the smoked bourbon from Arby's.
Doesn't sound good.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.